Good evening, students. Let's start the session today. Uh, right, TRG session 3. Actually, I'll do reporting part today, and the last TRG session is tomorrow. Not tomorrow, sorry, next week. Next week we can discuss substantive procedures and test of control. Okay, so substantive procedures anyway it's important. So I'll take that as last topic to discuss with you all. And today we'll discuss reporting related areas and also few important standards that we can discuss today. Okay. So first of all, if I take this reporting portion in your syllabus, 6 to 8 marks definitely tested. So 6 to 8 marks definitely it's tested. Probably section B, last question. Right. So if I take section B first question, generally 30 marks question. There's two options. One is that 30 marks can be tested for audit risk. If it is not tested for audit risk, obviously it is internal controls, test of control and substantive procedures. And the second question, section B, second question, either internal controls or audit risk. If question number 1 is internal control, question number 2 is audit risk. If question number 2 is internal control, question number 1 is audit risk, right? So that audit risk is completely down. Question number 3, right? There's a high chance that related to reporting. So as per my experience, I can say that this reporting questions can be tested in two ways. Reporting questions can be tested in two ways. One is like implication to audit report, that reporting related application questions. The other one is theoretical questions. So theoretical questions like ISA 700, ISA 701, especially paragraphs, right? Paragraph related theory questions possible, or application questions. If I take application questions mainly impact or critical evaluation of audit report. Now let's discuss how this particular area or else the topic can be tested in your final exams. So let's start with the verbs. The question verbs are implication to audit report, right? Highly examinable. Implication to audit report, one verb. Another verb is critical evaluation of audit report, another important verb. Third one, especially paragraphs. There are few paragraphs repeatedly tested. Key audit matter paragraph. So there's a technical article related to key audit matter. Please read that, very important, key audit matter paragraph. And another paragraph we call emphasizes of matter paragraph. That is also very important. And another, no, it's not a paragraph, but we can say other information. So other information, emphasizes of matter paragraph, key audit matter paragraph. These three paragraphs are very, very, very important. Right. So these are the three types of questions, verbs. So you should prepare in these three verbs, very much important. Especially, I recommend you all to practice questions like implication to audit report. 90% chance I can say implication to audit report can be tested in your exams. So now let's look at these examinable questions here, right? So if I take section A, reporting can be tested along with completion. If I take section A, reporting topics can be tested along with what? Completion areas. You might know that completion topics, if I take ISA 560, ISA 570, ISA 580, and ISA 450. See, these are, and also, yes, I can say ISA 505. And these are the standards which comes under completion portion. What is ISA 560? ISA 560 is subsequent event. Active duty, passive duty. And what is ISA 570? Going concern, the responsibility of auditor and responsibility of management over going concern. And what is ISA 580? That is, I can say, written representation. And what is ISA 450? That I can say overall misstatements. So there are three types of misstatement: factual misstatement, judgmental misstatement, and also projected misstatement. So ISA 450 also, there is a technical article, a detailed technical article was given. So please read that also. Finally, ISA 505, that we can say confirmation, right? That we can say confirmation. There are two types of circularization or confirmation. One is positive circularization. Second one is negative circularization. And also you should know how to obtain this confirmation circularization process. So all these things comes under section A. All these things comes under section A. There is a possibility that you are getting 3 questions, right? 3 cases, section A. There's a high chance one will be ethics. So ethics case study, and there is a possibility risk can be tested, or else substantive procedure and audit evidence can be tested, right, in section A. Likewise, the best combination is reporting plus completion. So reporting and completion both might be combined together, and the examiner can give you 5 objective test questions. 5 objective test question means obviously 10 marks. 5 objective test question means it is simple, 10 marks. That is section A. So section A is also possible. Section B, see, I told you there are 3 types of question. Implication to audit report. Implication to audit report. What is implication to audit report? Right? Implication to audit report means, students, a confirmed misstatement or possible misstatement can be given in the case study. A confirmed issue, confirmed misstatement, or possible misstatement can be provided in your case study. That issue is related to financial statement. That issue is related to what? Financial statement, simple, right? Then that particular issue discuss about misstatements. If that misstatements are not corrected by management, how it's going to affect financial statement, audit report? What is the impact to audit report? How it's going to affect audit report? That is what called impact to audit report or implication to audit report. So if I take this impact to audit report or implication to audit report, we should follow a pattern of writing answer. First, you should explain the issue. Then you should explain the standard treatment. You should explain materiality. You should assess pervasiveness. You might study the term called pervasiveness. Then provide opinion. When you are providing opinion, make sure the heading is also in line with that opinion. After that, you should give a basis for opinion. Again, the basis for opinion heading is also in line with that particular opinion. Don't worry, we'll do one question to familiarize ourselves with this type of questions. Another type of reporting question that is not frequently tested, but if you take for last 10 years, 2 or 3 times it is tested. That is evaluation of audit report. What is evaluation of audit report? An extract of audit report is provided. Extract of audit report is provided, and it's your duty to evaluate that audit report. Whatever the audit report provided, auditor extract is provided in your exams. So it's your duty to evaluate that report. It is not rewriting the report provided. You are not rewriting the report, but it's your duty to critically evaluate. Critical evaluation is different from rewriting the content. So don't just rewrite whatever the things given in the question. Try to evaluate. When you are evaluating, that evaluation need to be a critical evaluation. Critical evaluation means whatever you studied, whatever you know, you apply those knowledge to that report and you are evaluating and interpreting. This question format is little complicated, right? Students feel less comfortable with critical evaluation to audit report. When you are evaluating the audit report, you should know the order of audit report. The ISA 700 clearly said what is the order that we should follow. If that order was not there, you can evaluate. You can criticize. Wording. Try to understand the audit report is a formal professional report. It is not like, it is not a kind of a love letter, right? Because the way of writing a love letter and the way of writing a professional report is 2 different things. Therefore, when we are choosing wording, that wording should be more professional in the audit report. So wording issues might be there. Commonly, we can find issues related to wording and suitability of the opinion. You should see whatever the opinion provided in the given report, is that suitable? That opinion is suitable or not, that you should see. And suitability of the paragraphs. Suppose if they include paragraphs in the audit report, whether that paragraphs are suitable or not, right? That you should see. For example, if I take emphasis of meta paragraph, what is emphasis of meta paragraph? ISA 706. So ISA 706 speak about emphasis of meta paragraph. Under emphasis of meta paragraph, I can say whatever the matters correctly accounted, whatever the matters correctly disclosed in the financial statement, but still auditor fails to communicate that matter to shareholder, then only we can include under emphasis of meta paragraph. So in simple terms, if I say you can't include any misstatements under emphasis of meta paragraph. You can't include any misstatements under emphasis of meta paragraph. But in your extract, in the question they gave, a material misstatement is included within emphasis of meta paragraph. You can criticize, it is wrong. So that's what called suitability of the paragraphs. And also the headings. So whatever the headings they use, for example, opinion is an adverse opinion. Then the heading should be adverse opinion, should be the heading. You can't say just opinion. Under that, you can't give adverse opinion. Whatever the type of opinion we are providing, that type of opinion should be our heading for the opinion paragraph. And the headings you should check. Thereafter, ISA. So normally when we are preparing audit, we need to prepare audit in line with auditing standards. So whatever the things requested by the standard that we should follow. For example, the standard said, auditors management is primarily responsible for the fraud and error. But in the extract, audit report extract given to you in the exam, it includes that auditor is primarily responsible for fraud. It is wrong. Non-compliance with ISA 240. Therefore, you should be able to criticize that. So for that, you should know standard. That is also you should use when you are critically evaluating the report. Finally, the responsibilities. What is management responsibility? What is auditor's responsibility? All these things you should know. Because sometimes in your extract, management responsibility can be interpreted as auditor's responsibility. Auditor's responsibility can be interpreted as management responsibility. Right? So therefore, we should know these things in order to critically evaluate audit report. Anyway, we'll do questions to understand these formats. After that, finally, paragraphs. See, when we are focusing on paragraph, try to understand these three, very important. Key audit meta paragraph, that is ISA 705. That is ISA 705. And emphasizes of meta paragraph, that is ISA 706. And other information, very, very important, that is ISA 710. So these three paragraphs are important. These three paragraphs are important. You should have clear understanding about these three paragraphs. Okay. So this is the maximum possible combination when it comes to reporting questions. So if you prepared for these four types, section A and section B, right, easily you can score 7 to 8, maximum up to 10 marks. Right. So now I'm going to discuss questions on each type. Now I'm going to discuss questions from each type. Okay. Now, please copy this. Please copy this. So this is what examinable. Copy this. Now, students, let's discuss this question. See here. Right, fine. See here, if you look at this question, just take only verbs, question verb. Discuss the issue and describe the impact to audit report. Right? There are three things we should understand here. There are three things you should understand here. Don't just write down answers without understanding the question. First, they ask us to discuss the issue. It's your duty to identify the problem first. That's why in my answer structure, see, implication to audit report, what I said. First, explain the key issue. If you want to explain key issue, you should have clear standard knowledge. Without standard knowledge, you can't identify key issue. That's why I told issue is related to financial statement, not to entity. All of your problems under reporting, whatever the issues they are giving, it is related to what? Financial statement. If an issue is related to financial statement, means it's a misstatement. Misstatement or possible misstatement. So first thing is you should discuss the issue. So when you are discussing issue, you should apply professional skepticism and professional judgment. That is one aspect of this case study. The second aspect is describe the impact in the audit report. They ask us to describe the impact. Okay, definitely we know there will be a problem. That problem is related to financial statement. And it can be a confirmed misstatement or it can be a possible misstatement. That is related to financial statements. That we know. So once we identified the issue, they ask us to describe the impact to audit report. See, concentrate. If the issue is there, ISA 500 and 450 overall misstatements and overall review, the standard said it's our duty at the completion stage, we should ask management to rectify all the misstatements. Concentrate. We should ask management to rectify all the misstatements. If material misstatements are not corrected, audit opinion get modified. Immaterial misstatements are not corrected, it won't affect opinion. Therefore, describe the impact to audit report means what type of opinion that we're going to provide. Again, they're telling like, okay, fine. Let's say there was a misstatement. The misstatement is material. Management correct that issue. Misstatement is material. Management correct that problem. At the final stage, we request and they correct. No more misstatement. No more misstatement. In that case, students, true and fair opinion we should give. Therefore, examiner specifying that, because here they explain the problem. They didn't mention whether management corrected or not. To make it more specific, they are telling, see, impact to audit report, and you should assume what? Issue remain unresolved. Issue remain unresolved. What it mean? Issue remain unresolved. What is mean? We request management to adjust. We request management to adjust, but management refuse to adjust. We request management to adjust, but management refuse to adjust. So the matter is unresolved. If management is refused to adjust that particular issue, and if that issue is unresolved, then what will happen to your impact? So when you are reading this question, suppose, let's say, if I remove this, now it's a different question. If I remove that line, now it's a different question. Why? Discuss the issue and describe impact to audit report. So when I am describing impact audit report, I should describe in two ways. One is, if management adjusted, what will be the opinion? If management refused to adjust, what will be the opinion? So therefore, examiner is very clear. Examiner in audit paper, examiner is very much clear. The problem is those who are reading that question, they are not understanding. 50% all of our students, what they are doing is with 50%, 30%, 40% understanding only you have. With that understanding only you do that paper. Because the paper is perfect. Examiner is very clear. Examiner is very clear. See, he clearly said, discuss the issue. Don't take business issue. It should be a financial statement issue. Describe the impact to audit report. Assume that issue is not resolved, which means management refused to correct. Then only we modify the report. Is my explanation understood? So you should understand these three concepts first. Suppose in your exam, if the examiner is giving a question like discuss the issue and describe the impact to audit report, then you should think in both perspectives. Students, what I explained, understood? Is it clear, students? You all understood the question, meaning? Now concentrate. In audit paper, skills level audit paper, examiner is too clear, very much clear. The questions are very much clear and straightforward. Because if you come to advanced audit and assurance, the questions are highly judgmental. There are a lot of assumptions you need to put. A lot of judgments you need to put into your answer. But here it is not like that. Everything is clearly defined. Right? The scope is clearly defined by the examiner. Within that scope, write the answer. Okay. So with that knowledge, let's move to the case study. D company manufactures women clothing at its year end was 31st July 2007. You are audit supervisor of J and company, and the year end audit of D company is due to commence shortly. The draft financial statements recognize profit before tax 2.6 million. They gave this information in order to calculate materiality. So profit is given. You can use for both income statement and balance sheet elements. And also they gave total assets. Total asset is 18 million. Total asset is 18 million. So if there is any balance sheet element, for that you can use. You have been given the responsibility for auditing receivables. So receivables is a balance sheet items. Receivable is related to balance sheet item. But again, if there is any bad debt or doubtful debt, that goes to income statement. And they said the receivable is a material balance. ISA 320, it's a material balance by amount. As a part of audit approach, a positive receivable circularization is to be undertaken. So positive receivable circularization, you might study ISA 505. There are two types of circularization or confirmation. One is positive circularization and the two is negative circularization. Okay. So please focus on that. Right. If you are studying audit, please focus more on two chapters, theory chapters. One is ISA audit evidence. That audit evidence chapter, I'm talking about Kaplan, na? Because chapter orders are different from Kaplan to study hub. So Kaplan audit evidence, that chapter is very, very important. Because there are section A questions recently I found, right? Especially related to circularization and all. And also please focus on audit planning. The standards like ISA 330 interim final audit, ISA 240 fraud, ISA 250 compliance, right? Those areas. Very, very, very important. So ISA 505, I'll ask you a simple question before moving to this, right? How to obtain positive circularization? How to perform positive circularization? For 5 marks, examiner is asking how auditor perform positive circularization. What you going to write? You should write as per ISA 505 because 505 standard, it speaks about circularization. It speaks about confirmation. It says positive and negative circularization. How to issue a receivable circularization, those steps, procedures explained by the standard. So focus more on that, right? So here positive circularization is provided. So positive circularization will reduce the detection risk. Don't ask how, because already you might study audit risk, you might study circularization. What is positive circularization and what is negative circularization, you should know. So positive circularization will helps us to gather sufficient and appropriate reliable evidence. By that, it reduce the risk of, I can say, detection risk. It reduce detection risk. Okay, with that knowledge. So here what they did was they did a positive receivable circularization. Therefore, comparatively, it's good. Comparatively, it's good. From auditor's perspective, the audit risk is low because we issued a positive circularization. At the planning meeting, the finance director of D&D Company informed audit engagement partner that the company was closing one of its smaller production site, and as a result, a number of employees would may be redundant. So when employees become redundant, if that announcement is made before the year end, if that announcement is made before the year end, sufficient provision to be made. If that announcement is made after the year end, sufficient disclosure need to be made. Right? That is IAS 37 provision, contingent asset and contingent liability standard. Therefore, here there was a redundancy and the redundancy announcement is already made, and a redundancy provision of 110,000 is included in the draft financial statement, which means they included a provision of 110,000 in the draft financial statement. So in the financial statement, they create that provision. Therefore, correct. Redundancy was there. So that redundancy announcement is made and provision is created, 110,000 included in the draft financial statement. So what they made is right. But the standard IAS 37 said, when you are creating a provision, 3 conditions to be satisfied. There should be a present obligation arise from the past event, future economic benefit outflow is probable, cost is measurable. If these 3 conditions are satisfied, you can recognize a provision, but the double entry is expense account debit and the provision account credit. But again, the same standard said, when you are making a provision in the financial statement, it is a subjective estimate. Therefore, it should be a best estimate. Right? What is mean by best estimate? What is mean by best estimate? What is the difference between forecast and projection? Forecast is not a forecast is the best estimate. Projection is not a best estimate. Projection and forecast different, students. Projection is not a best estimate. That includes some hypothetical judgments. But forecasting is a best estimate, closer to truth. So standard said, when it comes to provision, it should be a best estimate. Should not deviate from the actual results. But here, the problem is not provision. Provision they made. Actually, as per the standard, person is redundant. Before the year end announcement is made, provision is recognized. No problem. Then what is the problem? The problem is whether it is a best estimate or not. Whether it's a best estimate or not. Because standard IAS 37 said it should be a best estimate. So that is the point there. If that is not a best estimate, it will affect one assertion. That assertion we call completeness. Income statement and balance sheet, there was an assertion called what? Completeness. When a provision is a best estimate, that protect completeness. When a provision is not a best estimate, that affect completeness. So here they made a provision and that provision is 110,000. A few months have now passed and the audit team is performing audit field work, including audit procedures, which recommend over redundancy provision. So they clearly mention this provision is redundancy provision, correct? Right? If you don't know what is redundancy provision, FR subject, you might study it. Redundancy is an obligation. Why this redundancy obligation arise? Because of the employment. That person worked for you. That is we call employment. Employment is a past event. As a result of past event, present obligation arise. This obligation can be measurable and it should be a best estimate. And as per the management, it is 110,000. But the team calculated it is 305,000. Audit team is telling it should be 305,000. Then the management is decided it has 110,000 and the finance director not willing to adjust. So the finance director is not willing to adjust this. And we are telling, no, it's 305. And they are saying, no, it's 110. So what is the core problem here? The core problem I can explain. The core problem I can explain in very detail, like it is not a best estimate. It is not a best estimate. That is a requirement of the standard. By that, it affects the assertion called completeness. By that, it's affect the assertion called completeness. Completeness is an income statement assertion. Completeness is also a balance sheet assertion, right? And also, as a result of this completeness issue, what happened? Your liability understated. Your liability understated. This is the balance sheet impact because provision credited 110,000. Actually, it should be 305,000. So liability is recognized in the balance sheet as 110,000. Actually, it should be 305,000. So your liability is restricted, understated. Likewise, what happened to the other entry? The other entry is redundancy expense. So the redundancy expense is an expense. That expense is also understated. By that, what happened to your P&L? Profit overstated. So as a result of this completeness issue, what is the misstatement to your financial statement? Your liability is also understated. Your profit is overstated. That is the impact to financial statement as a result of this issue. Students understood the issue. So when you are explaining this issue, the way that I explained, the same thing you should write in your answer. Is it clear, students? What I explained, understood? So identifying a problem is very important. So if you are telling like non-compliance with IAS 37, it is wrong. It is complied. We complied. The management complied with IAS 37. That non-compliance is not a problem here. They complied. Everything is in line with the standard. The problem is it is not a best estimate. 110 and 305. The reality is 305. The mentioned one is 110. Significant gap. Though, therefore, it's not a best estimate. By that, it's affect completeness. That is the accurate answer for the key issue. Students understood what I explained. Everyone understood. Yes or no? Any doubt over this issue? Any problem over this issue, students? You should have clear standard and assertion knowledge in order to handle audit risk, in order to handle some portion of substantive procedure, in order to handle reporting. For these three topics, you should have clear knowledge about standard and the assertion. Now let's move to the question. Describe the impact. Yes, don't worry. I'll show you the steps, answers. So now let's take the answer pattern. See here. Company recognize redundancy provision of 110,000 in the financial statement, but auditor perform procedures and assess the complete provision. See the assertion. Complete provision may be, why I use the verb may be. That is also auditor's estimate only. That's why the limitation of external audit, auditor also use judgment, management also use judgment. As per management judgment, it is 110,000. As per auditor's judgment, it is 305,000. So I'm telling here, the problem with completeness of the provision may be, yes, because that is also a judgment 305,000. This shows management understate provision by how much? 195,000. So here the misstatement is provision is understated by 195,000. That is the misstatement. That is the mistake. So when we are calculating materiality, we should take what? A misstatement amount. We should take misstatement amount. IAS 37 standard require, that is provision recognized when present obligation arise from past event, future economic benefit outflow is probable, cost is measurable. Right? And here I'm adding one more point, right? Obligation. I can say obligation should reliably measure. Reliably measure. So we should reliably measure this particular obligation. That I can say best estimate. That I can say best estimate. And here if I take 195,000 is the misstatement, 2.6 million is the profit, PBT given in the question. So 195,000 divided by 2.6 million into 100, that represent 7.5% of PBT, 7.5% of PBT. And we all know as per ISA 320, more than 5% is material. So this misstatement represents 7.5% of PBT. Therefore, it is material to financial statement. Why I use the word financial statement? Because the basis that I'm using here is PBT, that applicable to both income statement and balance sheet. So it is material to financial statement. It is material to financial statement. Even if it is material, not pervasive. Now I am explaining about pervasiveness. Now I am explaining about pervasiveness. See my answer pattern. See my answer pattern. In my answer, I explain the issue. I explain standard treatment. I explain materiality. Now I'm moving to pervasiveness. So in my pervasiveness, what is pervasiveness? Pervasiveness is a matter of auditor's judgment. Pervasiveness is a matter of auditor's judgment. But in your exam, if we ask you to take that judgment, simply all the kids will decide it is pervasive. What is pervasive? It is able to spread it throughout the financial statement. Pervasive problems are more dangerous problems. Let's take our body, right? If there is any scratch, right, in the hand, or if there is any crack in the hand, that particular hand get affected. Other than hand, the entire body don't have any problem, right? So that is not pervasive. That is not pervasive. But if you look at cancer, cancer is a highly pervasive disease because it will spread it throughout the body. It will affect entire body. Therefore, misstatements which is pervasive will affect entire financial statement. Which is not pervasive will affect only that particular part in the financial statement. How to decide whether the misstatement is pervasive or not? I'll tell you a technique. Take the profit. Take the profit. Take the amount of misstatement. If the misstatement is greater than profit, if the misstatement is greater than profit, it is pervasive. Because the studies it shows, the articles of examiner it shows, when a problem become pervasive, that can able to convert profit into loss. That can able to convert loss into profit. That is what pervasive. Because the issue is very, very critical. Here if I take how much profit? 2.6 million. How much issue? Misstatement, 195,000. 195,000 if you adjust, still it is profit only. So profit to profit not become loss. As a result of that, I can say simply it is not pervasive. But this mechanism, take it again, I'm telling how to assess pervasiveness. Generally, it's a matter of auditor's judgment. But in your exam, take the profit figure, take the misstatement. If the misstatement can make that profit into loss, then it is pervasive. Otherwise, it is not pervasive. So don't mention that in your answer because practically it's a judgment. But I'm telling you a technique to decide whether it is pervasive or not. Right? So I'm telling here it is material but not pervasive because still it is profit. Profit is higher than the issue. So financial statement not spread throughout the financial statements. The misstatements in the financial statement is not pervasive. Why? Because it is do not spread throughout the financial statement. If it is spread throughout financial statement, profit become loss, loss become profit. So it is not pervasive. So it is not pervasive. So what opinion then provided? You all know when the misstatement is material and it is not pervasive, we should give except for opinion, or else I can say qualified opinion. Another name is except for opinion. Why we are telling it as an except for opinion? Other than that problem, remaining financial statements provide true and fair value. That's why we call it as except for opinion or qualified opinion. So here qualified opinion is suitable. Why? Except provision, financial statement provide true and fair. That is the opinion. So qualified opinion is suitable here. And our opinion paragraph should be headed as what? Qualified opinion. Our opinion paragraph should be headed as what? Qualified opinion. Opinion paragraph heading should be changed as qualified opinion. Other than provision, financial statement provide true and fair view. And the same time, that is opinion paragraph. That is how we write opinion. After that, you should include basis for qualified opinion. See, basis for opinion paragraph generally comes after opinion paragraph. But here, since the opinion is qualified opinion, we should provide basis for qualified opinion. We should provide basis for qualified opinion. Right? What is basis for qualified opinion? We are going to quantify the misstatement. Why such misstatement arise? What is the reason that we should explain under the basis for qualified opinion? So if you follow all these things, you will get full marks. But I observed most of the students, when they ask impact to audit report, simply they are writing adverse opinion. You won't get full marks. Qualified opinion, you won't get full marks because examiner is expecting certain things from you. You should cater that particular expectation. You should fulfill that expectation. So a complete answer for impact to audit report include all these steps together. Don't write in point form, but try to include everything in your answer. So that would be a complete answer. Now you all understood how to approach impact to audit report. Now you all understood how to approach impact to audit report. Yes or no? Self-study students understood how to approach impact to audit report. Self-study students, are you comfortable with this? Is it clear how to write? Fine. Copy this. Copy this answer. Okay, fine. Then I'll share this tute after the class. Don't worry. Now, I'll give 5 minutes time. Do this question. Identify key audit matter. Do this question, a paragraph question. Try out this, then I'll explain. Type your answers in the chat box, then we'll discuss this. I told you emphasis of meta paragraph, key audit meta paragraph, and other information. These 3 paragraphs are very, very important. Okay. Do this question, then I'll explain. Anyone who typed the answer? Students, to do this question fully, you should read the technical article published in ACCA. You should read the technical article which is published in ACCA. Please type your answers. Just I want to see to what extent that you can draft your answers, especially standard related questions. Don't think that standard related questions are easy. Huh? You can't write your general knowledge answers. For example, if you are getting a question like, okay, explain auditor's responsibility over fraud and error. This is a question. You can't just type answers. You should apply ISA 240 clearly. That's why students feel satisfied after the exams, but they fail. Right. So try to understand things properly. So here to do this question, you should have a knowledge ISA 701 and ISA 705. Anyone? Anyone? So let's discuss this question. Let's discuss this question. ISA 701 provide guidelines over key audit meta paragraph. I'm trying to make it very simple format, right? Short points I'm going to try to give that makes you clear understanding. Key audit meta is mandatory for listed entities and voluntary is voluntary for non-listed entities. Okay, so it is mandatory for the listed entities and obviously voluntary for non-listed entities. So don't think that non-listed entities are not using key audit meta paragraph. Based on their discretion, they can include, but it is not mandated. So when you are critically evaluating audit report, if they said in the question, the third type of question I'm telling, right? Still, we didn't discuss that question. So in a critical evaluate audit report, in the case study, if they said the company is not listed, right? And if they didn't include key audit matter paragraph, that is not wrong. If they said it is listed and if they didn't include key audit matter paragraph, then it is an issue. Right? Now let's take what is key audit. Matters in the auditor's professional judgment. Matters in the auditor's professional judgment. Matters in the professional judgment. Okay, I got 1 point. So nothing mentioned regarding listing. Nothing mentioned means no problem. Like you should assume it is listed. Right. So in audit, if it is listed, no need to mention. Because audit is also mandatory for listed companies, right? So the general conclusion is if nothing is mentioned, just assume it's a listed company. Understood? Matters in the auditor's professional judgment. Auditor's professional judgment were significant to audit of the financial state. So whatever the things feel significant, that we include under key audit matter paragraph. Not all the matters. Again, the standard said matters which auditor discussed with those charged with governance. The matters which auditor discussed with those charged with governance. Those charged with governance, board of directors. During the audit. Right. So whatever the matters that we discussed to those charged with governance during the audit, from these matters, auditor applies his judgment. And decide most significant matters. To financial statements. So what is key audit matter? How we decide key audit matter? What we feel it is significant. Not all the matters. Whatever the matters we communicated to charge with governance during the audit, from that we apply our judgment and we decide matters which is more significant to financial statement. Key audit matter, concentrate. Key audit matter paragraph, do not modify audit opinion. Do not modify what? Audit opinion. That is also important. Key audit matter paragraph, do not modify what? Audit opinion. And also it is do not modify audit report. Do not modify audit report. Audit opinion is also not modified. Audit report is also not modified. Right? So this is how we determine. So this is the answer for what? Determine key audit matters. So the red color area, the red color points are the way to determine key audit matter. Now I am going to change the color. This points are what we communicate. Always try to understand question verbs. First one, they said how auditor determine. This is how we determine. Next color is how to communicate, what to communicate. Okay, so let's see what we are going to communicate then. Right. So that I'm going to type in the other color, that is a separate color. So first time, high risk of material misstatement. high risk of material misstatement that we communicate. High risk of material misstatement. Right. For example, judgmental misstatement. Judgmental misstatement. In audit risk, you might study. Most of the judgmental areas are high risk areas. So judgmental misstatement, high risk, included in where? Key audit matter. Significant management, judgment involved. Significant management judgment involved, like areas like provision, areas like provision and goodwill. I can say related party, impairment, all sort of things. Again, NRV, net realizable value, inventory. During the period, any significant events or transactions. Any significant events or transactions occurred, which affect financial statements. Any significant events occurred and which affect financial statements. That is also included under key audit matter. Right? And also, any fraudulent or significant errors. Because for fraud and error is always material. So these are the things generally included in the key audit matter paragraph. So when you are trying to communicate things, you should communicate in line with the standard scope. This is the complete answer for this question. Students, understood? What we discussed, understood? So take all the ISAs and summarize as much as possible. Keep it with you all. Before your exams, just go through with all the ISAs, because that will save you. Most of the students, they didn't take these theory areas much important. Why? If you are really good in all other predetermined case studies, it's good. Along with that, you should have certain theory knowledge as well, because that helps you to pass. And even those who are really good in audit risk ethics and controls, procedures and all, still the theory areas make you a rank holder, make you a prize winner. Sri Lanka, it's prize winner. India, it's rank holder. Right? So make you a prize winner or rank. So try to focus on that as well. Right? For if you are from Sri Lanka, if you score more than 70, right, definitely you will get prize. India, if you score more than 80, definitely you will get prize. Sir, can you share the question index for this reporting to practice? Okay. Now, students, shall we discuss critical evaluation to audit report? I didn't include that question here. Critical evaluation to audit report. Critical evaluation to audit report. That is a third type of question. Okay. Shall we continue, or else you need a break? So today I want to discuss 3 questions. Right. Implication part is done. Then the second part, theory areas also done. Paragraph I did, right? My question, what you prefer? You need a break or let's finish with this critical evaluation. Shall I move to critical evaluation then? Fine. Okay, write down this question. I'll create a case study because I think almost the other case studies and all I discussed in the class, right? So even the same question, what I did now, right, for implication, I think I discussed that in the class also. Right. So some my class students might feel like, okay, so already you did these questions, again you are doing same questions, right? So for that, I'll change the case study, right? So I'm going to create a new case study now, right? Based on this, I expect you to critically evaluate, right? So let's start. Okay, fine. Following audit report extract is prepared by audit senior of TGR Associates. TGR Associates. Okay. So let's take the case study. This is the extract of audit. This is not a complete audit report. Keep that in your mind. An extract of audit report only given. So let's say directly I'm starting from opinion paragraph. You can't say the top title was not there in this extract because it is not a complete report. It is just an extract. Within that given extract, what are the problems that you identified? That only you should speak. Okay. So first I'll take key audit meta paragraph. Key audit meta paragraph. Okay. So that include significant uncertainty over going concern issue identified during the period of audit. This informed those charged with governance. Right. So that's key audit meta paragraph point. Let's take emphasizes of meta paragraph. Another point, emphasizes of meta paragraph. Emphasizes of meta paragraph. Research cost 1.2 million. Capitalized by management. But it is not material to financial statement. It is not material to financial statement and do not affect audit opinion. Do not affect audit opinion. Opinion. Material adjusting event not adjusted by management. Adjusted by management. Material non-adjusting event not amended by management. Not amended by management. We modified audit opinion with adverse opinion paragraph. Financial statements do not provide true and fair view. Financial statements do not provide true and fair view. Responsibilities of management. Responsibilities of management. The next content is responsibilities of management. Management primary responsibility to perform procedures during subsequent events before audit report sign. Before audit report sign. So these are the extracts. This is the extract. Likewise, this type of extract will be provided to you. Right, in your exam, this type of extract will be provided to you. So I create an extract here. I create an extract here. Now, critically evaluate. Now, critically evaluate. Now, critically evaluate. What is the question? So let's take the question. So the question is, critically evaluate audit report. Do this question. I'll give 5 minutes. Critically evaluate this audit report. So an audit report extract is given here. Critically evaluate this report. Do this question. Students, can you able to criticize this report? They gave a extract of audit report. Now I ask you to criticize. Criticize this audit report, will you? At least 2 points. At least 2 points. Please type. Students, try out at least 1 point. At least 1 point. Even if I give 1 hour, even 5 hours, no one will going to respond. Suppose if you get this question, students, in your final exam, how are you going to do this question? When I'm giving time, at least try. If the answer is wrong, no problem. Shall I tell you? The first thing, the order is wrong. Order is wrong. First, opinion paragraph. After that, emphasizes of matter. After that, basis for opinion paragraph. After that, emphasizes of meta paragraph. After that, key audit meta paragraph. After that, only responsibilities of management. Here, the order is wrong. First problem is that. First problem is what? The paragraphs are arranged in a wrong order. That you should mention here. Is it clear? Students, is it clear? Order. It's in the wrong order. I'm not going to type detailed answer. Try. It's a wrong order. As per ISA 700, there is a problem related to ISA 700. ISA 700 audit report clearly said the format of audit report. ISA 700 speaks about the format of audit report. The order is wrong. What is the order? First, opinion paragraph. But here, first key audit meta paragraph is given. The second thing, basis for opinion is missing here. Basis for opinion paragraph. Now you can't say like this, extract, no. It's not a full report. That's not a problem. It's not a problem. Why? It's a problem. Why? Within this extract, basis for opinion should include it. After opinion, they gave responsibilities. Therefore, you can argue that also. Third problem. What is opinion? Adverse opinion. So the opinion paragraph should be changed as adverse opinion. Heading of opinion paragraph. It should be adverse opinion. Let's see that opinion is right or wrong later. But now, according to their opinion, the opinion paragraph is wrong. Fourth one. Key audit matter. See, under key audit matter, what they included? Key audit matter, they include going concern part. And if there is any going concern issue that do not create material misstatement to financial statement, then it should be included where? Going concern meta paragraph. Where it is included? Included under key audit meta paragraph. That is not suitable place to include. The second problem with emphasizes of meta paragraph. What is the problem in emphasizes of meta paragraph? Research cost is 1.2 million, which is capitalized by management. It is not material, so financial statement and it's not affecting audit opinion. See, research cost capitalized is a misstatement. Yes, it is not material, that's not a problem, but it is a misstatement. Emphasizes of meta paragraph do not include any misstatements. You can't include any misstatements under emphasize of meta paragraph. Then you might ask where to put this. You can put under key audit meta paragraph. What is emphasizes of meta paragraph? The standard is ISA 706. Whatever the thing correctly accounted, whatever the matter is correctly disclosed, it should be included in the emphasis of meta paragraph. This is not correctly accounted. Even though it is not material, means immaterial misstatement. Why you include it? It's wrong. The next thing is opinion. Opinion is wrong. See here, material non-adjusting event. Not amended by management. Material non-adjusting event, what is the accounting treatment? Material non-adjusting event. What is the accounting treatment? IAS 10 events after reporting period. If there is any material non-adjusting event, what is the accounting treatment? The accounting treatment is, if it is affect going concern, it should be treated as adjusting event, breakup basis. If it's not affecting going concern, but if it is material, sufficient disclosure need to be made. So if I take the requirement is disclosure. Disclosure can be material, yes, but not pervasive. How disclosure become pervasive? Not pervasive. If there is a absence of disclosure, how it's become pervasive? Whether we disclosed or whether we didn't disclosed, profit is same. So disclosure, absence of disclosure may be material, but not pervasive. So what opinion is suitable here? Suitable opinion is qualified opinion. And also here, we should include basis for qualified opinion. We should include what opinion? Basis for qualified opinion. And they said about responsibilities. That is also wrong. No? Responsibilities of management. Responsibilities of management. You might study this under completion stage. Standard is ISA 560, subsequent event. We call that as active duty. During active duty period, that means year end to financial report, audit report sign. That period we call active duty period. Within active duty period, auditor should perform what? Auditor should perform procedures. Auditor should perform procedures over subsequent event. So auditor should perform procedures over subsequent event. But he mentioned here, that is management response. Not management responsibility. Management do not have responsibility during active duty period. Auditor's responsibility to check whether there is any subsequent event identity. So it's a wrong. It's auditor's responsibility. ISA 560 clearly said. All these problems are there. You should use all these problems to critically evaluate this audit report. Is it clear, students? Is it clear? Understood? See here, IAS 10 opinion, a material non-adjusting event. Those who need to, okay, 1 minute. 1 minute, I'll take that. Let's take completion. See here, under completion, adjusting event and non-adjusting event. Adjusting event and non-adjusting event. IAS 10 events after reporting period. There are two types of events. One is adjusting event. The other one is non-adjusting events. So here see. If it is adjusting event means you should adjust financial statement. Non-adjusting event, right? If it is affecting going concern, it is treated as what? Adjusting event. But if it is not affecting going concern, then if it is material, disclosure is required. If it is material, disclosure is required. So here, material non-adjusting event, not amended. I told you the term amendment means disclosure plus adjustment, we call amendment. Adjusting event should be adjusted. Non-adjusting material, non-adjusting event should disclose. Disclosure plus adjustment, both together we call amendment. So adjusting event also require amendment to financial statement. Disclosure is also require amendment to financial statement. Both are same. So here a non-adjusting event, which is material, should amend. Amend means disclose. Adjustment also disclose, amendment also disclose. Don't think amendment as adjustment. It is wrong. So they failed to disclose. A material non-adjusting event, management failed to disclose means it is material. Absence of disclosure is material, but not pervasive. My point is, it is material, but not pervasive, because absence of disclosure, it is material. Why? Presentation was not there. That is one assertion. Disclosure only meeting that assertion called presentation. If someone is not disclosing, it is material. Material by nature. That's why I told material by nature is decided non-compliance. Non-compliance with the standard disclosure is material by nature, but not pervasive. Abdullah understood. Therefore, it's a material misstatement. That is correct, but not pervasive. But not pervasive. Therefore, this opinion is wrong. Students, critical evaluation. Now, wait, I'll show you answer structure first. I'll show you answer structure first. Order, wording. So in my problem, I include order. I include suitability of opinion. I include suitability of paragraphs. I include headings. I include responsibilities. Also, I include ISA. ISA 560. So you should know what are the things to test in the critical evaluation question. Then you can critically evaluate. Don't rewrite as it is. No problem. No point at all. Try to critically evaluate. What is the problem? What went wrong? All these things clearly you should explain. All these things you should explain clearly. Students understood what I discussed. Is it clear? Everyone, self-study students understood. Now you all understood how to critically evaluate and extract of audit report. The only problem in this type of question, you should have overall knowledge to critically evaluate. If you don't know what is emphasis of meta paragraph, if you don't know what is key audit meta paragraph, if you don't know what is pervasiveness, if you don't know ISA 560, that is a subsequent event, then problem. Then it is very difficult to critically evaluate. Students, is it clear? Understood? Yes or no? Is it clear? See here in this opinion part, there was a material non-adjusting event. Material non-adjusting event, IAS 10 standard said, events after reporting period standard said, sufficient disclosures are required. If you disclose, financial statement get amended. If you adjust, financial statement get amended. So adjustment means when you are passing a double entry, that is called adjustment. Amendment means adjustment plus disclosure, both we call amendment. So here a non-adjusting event, actually we should disclose, but management fails to disclose. That's why they use the word not amended by management. Don't think not amended is equals to not adjusted. No, not amended include it is not adjusted or not disclosed. A material non-adjusting event not amended means it is not disclosed. So a disclosure requirement, management fails to disclose, it is a material mistake, but not pervasive because there is no adjustments made. There is an amendment, but not adjustment. Just you need to add a disclosure point. So that is material by nature. Absence of disclosure is material, but not pervasive. Therefore, this adverse opinion is wrong. Because adverse opinion, when we give, when misstatements are material and pervasive, then only we give adverse opinion. Here you can't give adverse opinion. So suitable opinion is qualified opinion. Why? Issue is material but not pervasive. Why material? Because they fails to disclose. That's why it is material but not pervasive. Is it clear? If you take last 10 to 15 years past paper, examiner repeatedly tested section A, section B, implication, paragraphs, or critical evaluate. Right. I am happy if they test critical evaluate, but students don't happy because students always like to get implication to audit report. So let's hope that you will get implication to audit report or paragraphs, but try to practice critical evaluation as well. I covered 100% of reporting portion, right? So what we discussed is useful today. So what we discussed, reporting, is it useful? Is it understood? Is it fine? Right. With that point, I'll stop for the day. I'll share this material after the class. And next Wednesday is our last TRG. I'm going to discuss overall ISA, test of controls and substantive procedures. Okay. So with that, the session get concluded. Thank you very much. Good night.